welcome back to Cybos TV. This our last session of the week. Where on earth has the time gone? Well, for this session we're going to be looking at collateral challenge. And I'm delighted that I've been joined to my right by Mark Jennis, DTCC. Welcome to Cybos TV, Mark. Thank you very much. Joe van der Velde, Euroclear. Yep. Good afternoon to you, Joe. And Florence Bonnevet, BNP Paribas Securities Services. Welcome, Florence, to you. Mark, come to you first, but I'm going to pose the question to all three of you. The collateral challenge, the sands of the collateral challenge are still shifting. What's going on? Where are we going on this?
Yeah, I've been in a number of panels all this morning trying to figure all of that out.
So you've got it figured now?
So yeah, we're working on it. The challenge in collateral management is as long as there's increasing regulation and we're trying to satisfy that regulation, we're still trying to work out exactly the right solutions to that. And so I think we're still in the stage now of understanding the regulation, but now coming up with solutions. The challenge that we have in this space is who knows what's going to happen after these regulations. You know, will they be enough to address the issues that were in the future, or are there going to be additional regulations that are out there? So the big driver for us is really regulation that has a big impact in the solutions that we do.
Florence, would you agree with Mark? Are we going to get time to catch our breath, or is it going to continue to be as relentless?
Well, I think it's kind of both, because the problem is it's not really set yet, but we need to get ready. So we need to come up with solutions. Some of it is already in action, like in the US, OTC are already cleared, so we need to provide solutions to clients. The industry has to get ready, and still, some things are still not set. So on one hand, you need to get ready, and on the other hand, you need to keep par with new regulations, which are put in place. And this whole thing is going to last, let's say, until 2020, the minimum. So it's like you're running the marathon, but at the same time, you are doing the sprint from time to time. So it's a bit tiring, but quite exciting, I would say.
Joe, are you out of breath from all this sprinting and marathoning?
I think there has been a lot of, over the last years there have been a lot of debate about the amount of collateral that is going to be needed and how are we going to serve all the additional collateral needs coming out of that new regulation. I think people now start to realize it's not only a question of the size of collateral that's going to be needed, but it's the whole process and making that process more straight through, because once central counterparties come into the game, all that will have to work as clockwork. Yeah? Whereas today a lot of that is done between parties, and I think there's going to be new rules coming in, there's going to be new parties coming in, so I think the whole making it more straight through with new parties is going to be a big challenge from a process point of view. Yeah?
Big challenge is that normally means a big problem. Would you call it a big problem?
I like to think of it in the optimistic way. It's a challenge, and I think that the key to that challenge is ensuring that we engage all different participants in the industry as part of that. The only way you're going to do this is to work together with the industry to work this through, and I just came from a standards forum, and I would also say that having standards in the industry and trying to work with models that work for the industry is quite helpful in these types of solutions also.
But of course, achieving standards and agreeing on standards takes a lot of collaboration, and we've heard a huge amount all week about collaboration, but you never quite know whether people are talking about it because they feel they should, or whether there's a genuine movement towards collaboration.
Yeah, I can just give that evidence from my own conversations. We've been involved in many different industry meetings across the globe and some of the solutions that we're working on, and we do sense a collaboration as different constituents are realizing the regulations are close and we need to collaborate and we need to get this done. And so I think the impetus now is to start moving towards action, and I think you're seeing therefore a lot more collaboration.
Are you in agreement on collaboration? Do you think it's real, or do you think it's, for some people it's still sort of maybe just talk?
No, I think there is. Well, I agree with Mark that time is running out, but I think there is generally more collaboration. I think people start to realize that why you collaborate or you open up your system, that is not necessarily a threat, yeah, because everybody is contributing his own skills, yeah, whereas people like ourselves and the DTCC, we provide core infrastructures. You have the custodians that provide the services towards the buy side, and I think people see the complementarity in all of that. Yeah.
Florence, the collateral challenge, of course, is driving new models, which is great, but what tests for the industry does that create? What challenges do the new models create?
Well, I think the main thing is still, since the regulation is not stabilized yet, you need to be able to build very, very good models and very strong infrastructures on bases which are not firm. So it's very difficult to like you're building a building and you don't know where the foundation is going to be. So that's quite challenging. I think the second big challenge is it's not a one-size-fits-all system. If you are an asset manager, or if you're in an insurance company or corporate, you're not facing the same challenges. If you're global or if you're regional, you're not going to find the same solutions. So for providers, we need to have solutions that are suiting the needs of everyone. And I would concur with my panelists that indeed there is a good cooperation, but the stakes are high. So the stakes are so high that without cooperation it wouldn't work. And even though it's still quite challenging because we need to address the needs of everyone, and this is a mandatory requirement. So it's just not for fun. You have to comply with regulation, you need to deliver it on time, whatever it takes, and it takes a lot. So I'm glad everybody is working together on it.
I'd love to meet the banker who thought regulations were for fun. He or she would be an interesting character. Florence's point about one size doesn't fit all is an important one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think on the conversations we have, and we were talking earlier about the buy side, if you look at the buy side, depending on whom you're speaking to, your solution may definitely be varied. So you have to be careful that you don't try to create one solution that works for everybody, because the truth of the matter is there are going to be differences in the way different firms approach some of these challenges that are out there.
And as different firms do approach it differently, that will present difficulties of its own.
Well, I think, to complement on that, I think there are a number of firms that are, on the other hand, looking for efficiency. So in terms of typically on the dealer side, I mean, who are much more familiar with the whole collateral management process, they're more looking at streamlining the whole process, hence the collaboration that we have recently announced between Euroclear and the DCC. Whereas on the other hand, more on the custodian side, I think that's more, the challenge is going to be how are we going to interact in an efficient way between our infrastructure world and the world of the custodians, which have a specialty and much more differentiation toward the buy-side client. So I think it's the challenge is going to make those different collateral systems work together to provide a streamlined process. Absolutely, yeah.
And Florence, how much time do we have to do what Joe was just setting out?
I think it's already work in progress. I think we're going to sophisticate the approach up till the end. So I'm positive because I think things have been moving on very rapidly during the last year. So we're getting there. But since we don't know where we go exactly, it's very difficult to figure out if you've reached the end stage, which I don't think is going to be happening before, let's say, 5-6 years.
So this time next year, a Sibos TV of Sibos 2015, are we still going to be talking about the same problems? What do you think will happen in that interim 12 months?
Actually, I think when this happens next year, we will be right near some of the regulations that are requiring implementation. And so instead of talking about what may be, we will be more about what has been done, and hopefully most people will have felt that they've satisfied most of those requirements that are out there. So I actually think the next time we talk will be a real interesting one, because a lot of the regulation starts 2015, the end of 2015 and beyond.
Okay, well, I look forward to that. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you, Mark Jennis, Joe van der Velde, and Florence Bonnevet for talking to me here on Sibos TV. That's it. That's it for today, and that's it for the week, that's it for the year, that's it from Sibos TV. I've been Daisy McAndrew, your host for the week. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Do enjoy the last day today. Who knows, maybe I'll see you next year. Bye-bye.